Hi, everyone. So we've got a solar eclipse coming up, hey? Not long now, just, well, tomorrow by the time this video goes out. Oh, solar eclipses are so much fun. I personally love eclipses, and that might be a little bit controversial. I know some people are a little bit wary of them, but I personally really love them. And the reason being is because, you have a lunar eclipse, which is what we had 2 weeks ago. Lunar eclipse is when the moon is full, right? It brings great completion. It highlights a lot of shadows. It kind of eclipses the emotional shadow, astral, subtle sides of us, right? The feminine sides, even. It eclipses it to allow it to rebirth. And it's guided very much by the waters, right? The waters within us. So the emotional body, the feminine body, the astral body, and subtle spiritual bodies. But now we have a solar eclipse. When a solar eclipse is when the moon is new, and between the earth and the sun, the moon will pass. And in so doing, it eclipses the sun for a little moment. Now, what I find really fascinating about this particular eclipse is that there's some funky stuff going on in the sky, from what I hear from my astrologer friends. Mars and Mercury are in kind of some interesting places, which is bringing a lot of potentially passive aggressive energy up, bringing a lot of unhealed masculine energy to the surface. Even to the point where I personally have noticed, I've personally noticed this in my day to day life, where I've noticed the energy of certain masculine energy kind of showing up in a very wounded and aggressive way, to the point where it's like, oh, well, there's the collective shadow. Look at that. Okay, how am I going to respond to this one? And the reason that I bring this up is because there is a potential from the energetic fields that I'm tuning into. There's a potential that we're going to witness within some, and not necessarily within all, but whenever I bring these videos forward, it's very much to reflect back to yourself, to observe and notice yourself. Of course, the more that you are working actively with yourself, the more you're building your emotional intelligence, the more you're asking and observing yourself and observing your responses, your thoughts, questioning what you think, questioning what you believe, question what you believe about other people, about thoughts, about behaviors, whatever it is, the more you're developing your emotional intelligence. The more you develop your emotional intelligence and you learn how you make people feel, and you allow yourself to really not take personally what others are doing or saying around you. Because really, when someone is giving you advice, right, they're advising a younger part of themselves, usually. Or when someone is advising you, or even criticizing you, they're criticizing a part of themselves that they see in you, right? But we are then doing that to others. And this is where observation is key, because with this particular eclipse coming up tomorrow, we're already in that new moon energy, which is really cool. New moon's about birthing, are about birthing new things, right? And it is inevitable that you will birth anew. It's inevitable. That's the point. This is soul graduation. This is your karmic patterns and cycles from the last eclipse to this one. Have you observed and responded in a way that is a higher vibration to how you will have done previously? As some of us will have done, some of us won't have done. Some of us will have to repeat patterns and cycles. Some of us will repeat them to a lesser degree, further out, right? So rather than something directly happening to you, it might happen to someone that you know, and you're there to witness it. And there's no competitive measure here, right? This isn't about measuring from yourself to another. This journey that you are on is yours and yours alone. And the world is populated by billions of reflections of you, so that you're not alone. Might feel alone, but you're not alone. And what's really interesting about this is because of Mars and Mercury, so how we communicate, how we process, and Mars, how we take action and what we fight for, how they are going to show up as the sun gets eclipsed, as that sacred masculine, that personality aspect gets eclipsed. This is a time of great change, but embrace it. Know that you are driving the change. Your higher self is doing that. Know that you just have to remain calm. Know that all you have to do is just breathe. So if anything tricky or challenging does come up, all you have to do is breathe. Feel safe and know that your higher self has got you. There are a couple of themes that I'm going to mention, and they may feel a little bit uncomfortable for some, and that's okay. But there is an aspect of the masculine that is rebirth, and of course we had the feminine recently, and they're overlapping. We're only 2 weeks apart from eclipses, right? Partial lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, another eclipse will be coming up in 2 weeks' time, right? So they're always overlapping, and that's the point, is as the masculine expands, the feminine expands. As the feminine expands, the masculine expands. As he is able to provide a more secure container, she's able to express and flow and be creative even more and magnetize. And as she is more comfortable in her sovereign feminine, sacred feminine energy, he feels more comfortable to lead and wants to be devoted to her. It's the dance of sacred masculine feminine. But what's really potentially interesting is that we may see rise to displaced anger, because that Mars energy and the masculine energy, the masculine nature, and men specifically as well. This can show up in women also, of course. We all have masculine, feminine energies moving through us. But if we're looking at men particularly, or the masculine energy showing up, there may be this passive aggressiveness. There may be this wanting to fight and displace an anger that may be stored in the liver, stored in the body, that perhaps they haven't had chance, or we haven't had chance to process in a healthy way. We're not really taught, are we, in this day and age, how to process emotional anger healthily, right? And most of us are not active or physically active enough to move that energy out and through us through the most efficient way. And most of us aren't in any talking therapy or any type of nervous system therapy in order to reprogram that. And so what's going to happen is, when the energies are heightened and magnified as they are through eclipses, that can displace and project. This may happen within yourself. You may find yourself getting very frustrated, very angry, snappy, reactive. Seen that a little bit recently with a few people. I'm going, oh, okay. Smile. It's okay. And you might see more physical expression of that anger, which also I've seen recently. And once again, and taking my own advice, I look back at myself and go, what role am I playing in that? What am I creating here? How have I become a part of that? What is my role in those dynamics that have happened recently? And it makes it interesting to reflect, because if we're not actually doing the work to look within ourselves and go, I want to take responsibility here, because this is an eclipse of responsibility, of accountability. To be authentic, you have to be responsible and accountable. That's the thing that we don't always want to hear, right? And so if we want our authenticity to shine through, we have to walk our talk. We have to walk it before we talk it, right? And so it's almost as though we're all going to get given this opportunity to walk it before we can talk it. So if you are a teacher, you're going to get called to walk your talk so that you can speak from an experiential manner, not just theory, not just parroting. And that's what I love about eclipses, because it calls you into authenticity, it calls you into integrity, and that's great. So enjoy the energy and just maybe do something for yourself. I know for me personally, this week I'm choosing to fast, and that's something I'm doing for myself. I'm choosing to be in my own space, to almost do like a mini Vipassana. Clearly not doing very well because I'm speaking right now, but do like a mini Vipassana and practice conscious, sacred silence, noble silence for the first part of the day. And I'm choosing to fast as well. And that, I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying that to go, what do you need? My body is asking for that. My body said, oh, I've not done an elongated dry fast. I've been in natural state for a little while. And last time I did it was actually over the last lot of eclipses. So let's do that again, But listen to your body and see what your body needs. Your body might need more exercise. Your body might need more rest. Your body might need more quiet. Your body might need social media detox. Your body might need something different. And the reason why we say look at your body is because we're looking at the sun. The sun's getting eclipsed. The sun connects with the nervous system and the physical body. Listen, this is about the relationship with you and you increasing. And that's what's really cool. So, on that note, I'm going to send so much love. I am going to invite you all to the next online workshop I have, which is called Metatron's Merkaba. That's on the 1010 portal. So, that's in a week and a half, Thursday evening, I think it is. Whatever date the 10th is. But that's on the 10th of October at 7 p.m. British time. Of course, there is an unlimited replay, but that's going to be a really, really powerful workshop, really fun as well. And I've got some wonderful workshops lined up in person in Lyndhurst with Jackie White, channeling the Diamond Ones on the 23rd of October. We start a 3-part series of healing the inner child. So 3 workshops starting on the 21st of October, they're online. And then 14th and 25th of November are the next 2. We've got a dragon workshop coming up on the 1st of November. We've got a creation in the cosmic womb, the womb of no thing, on the 2nd of December. Tim and I come together again on the 12th of December to bring through a workshop, part 1 of 2, so there'll be one in January as well. And of course, the Magdalene Day is already sold out, but we will look at doing more of those. But for now, this is a very powerful time to accelerate you. This is a very powerful time for you to really focus on yourself. Be a little bit selfish with what you need. This is about going inwards rather than going outwards. Yeah? Do for yourself first. In November, I will be running Anchor Your Light Spiritual Mentorship again. If it calls to you to be in that container, please feel very welcome to send me an email. Also, just go on my website, aliceheath.com. And if you look at Anchor Your Light, you'll see there's 2 options for it. A weekly container, which is once a week, and an intensive, which is twice a week. I'll have a handful of appointments for both. A couple of appointments for both, so a handful there. If it calls to you, I know one of the intensive is already pre-sold, so they are fantastic containers to really expedite you and refine who you are into who you're meant to be. So without further ado, I'm going to send all my love to you. Check out my crystals as well on Ascension Crystals Dorset on Instagram, or Ascension Crystals, the One True Heart. We've got some really wonderful new things being shown on there later on today. One of my favorites being a 7 Sun collection, which is the 7 Sons of Ascension. I have a really beautiful collection for that. Ready, attuned, and waiting their light worker. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video. So much love. Bye for now. Thank you for being here.